Hey everyone, Corey here, coming in to record the August 2024 energy update. Now, so there's no illusions of false truth, that this is actually being recorded on the same day that I recorded the last of July. So I am continuing this over, but in a different video, but it's really freaking hot in my office. So I did just have to take off the shirt and take off this little sweater thing I was wearing. And so, yeah, so same day, same time, like not same time, but same day that I've recorded the end of July. So if you have not listened to the end of July and you're listening to this in the beginning of August, I really suggest you go back and listen to the end of July, because it's a bit of a follow through, and it is going to follow through into 2000 and for the rest of the year. So really truly paying attention to that, because it is important. And I do speak about our our arrogance to be able to, turn the blind eye to our own veils of illusions, and to the imitation light versus our true light, to our from our shadow to our truth, right? And so that is the theme of even moving into August, is that as we move into August, we have that same kind of energy. Now there is a new moon that is on August the 4th. And that new moon on August the 4th, and I believe it's a super moon. I was going to go look that up actually before I came in to see exactly what it was, because I'm not sure. I'm not an astrologer. I read the energy, but there is a new moon that is bringing about a bit of a shift as well, and it brings in a bit of a breather. So the beginning, we go into retrograde. So yeah, I'm like, it brings a bit of a breather, a bit of a rest from the really fast-paced energy. We've been going very fast. Time is flying by. Everything feels like it's moving very, very quickly. But as we move into the beginning of August, really feeling and sensing the sense of a really strong presence of this retrograde. And I think it's Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty sure it's a Mercury retrograde. That's what I'm seeing. And that it's a retrograde. And so we've been in a Saturn retrograde, and then we have this retrograde coming through. We also have a shift for Mars. And so Mars is, I think Mars is going into retrograde as well, moving forward. And so we have this shift in Mars that's also taking place. I believe it's in sometime in that beginning, mid part of August. So the reason why I'm in this, because so there's some confusion. So we have this really slowed down. We get a bit of a slower paced energy, but we also get some confusion. We've been so used to being told where to go, what to do, how to do things, but it's like all of a sudden, it's as if that voice that's just saying, go here, do this, is no longer speaking to us. So the shadow voice is going to be getting a little bit kind of blocked out, and learning to be able to trust your true voice, be able to trust the truth. And it's a whisper. The whisper is not as loud as the chaos noise. So over here, it feels like the angels, it feels like the divine, it feels like the divine energy is blocking some of the shadowy energy, some of the chaos, some of the drama energy, and just going like, listen to us. We know that you've been told that this is your map, this is the way you need to go, but do you know where it's taking you? Don't you know where it's guiding you? Do you know where you're really going? Or have you been promised this promised land? So there's been this promised land energy. If you do this, if you do that, this is what your life is going to look like. Do you really like, is that really what it's going to be like for you? Is that really for you? We really want you to stop. We really want you to slow down. We really want you to think about this. We really want you to be here. We really want you to feel out your truth. Stop being in such a rush to get some. Stop being in such a rush for things to happen. How about you start to let life come into you? How about you start to just keep taking action and taking steps, but trusting that your arrival to promised this promised land is nothing like it really it may not be nothing like you think it is, because you're creating the promised land. You have been given the promise. You have been given the what you think it will be. It's like buying into a timeshare. Same thing. It's like buying into a timeshare. It's like, this is your timeshare. Oh my God, you pay this, and this is what it's going to be like for you, and this is what it's going to look like. But yet You can only come at this time. You can only do it at this time. This is what it's like. You got to share that place with all these other people. And so where's my sacred space? And when do I just get to go impulsively? Like, oh no, you don't get impulsiveness. You don't get to do things spontaneous. And so there's this almost like leading you in, it's like a mousetrap. So it's a mousetrap kind of energy that's on the other side. And the beginning of August gives us the opportunity to stop and just say, okay, we can go around the mousetrap and not get trapped in it. We can get through this, but we can go our own way. We can really truly trust if we just keep believing in myself, if I just keep believing in this version of myself that I know is there. And I just keep going towards me and not towards the chaos, not towards the noise, not because something else started to dance around me, but I can go my own way. So August holds a lot of this energy for it. So it holds a lot of powerful punches of truth. And it's like the light is just peeking in through a lifetime of imitation light, of believing in our own stories, in our own narratives. So stories are breaking down. There's a lot of breaking through energy. And so we've had this, or we're experiencing that euphoria of life is now turning around. Everything, the story has changed. Things are changing. Everything is now going to be great and good. All of a sudden, now we've given you one little drop of this magic Kool-Aid, and life is all of a sudden going to change. And it's going to be so great. It's going to be so wonderful. But what about all the things that are still happening? What about all the things we haven't cleaned up? What about all the things we haven't dealt with? All of those things are going to start peeking back in. And be like, oh, don't pay attention to that. You don't need to pay attention to that. You don't need to worry about that. Just ignore that. So it's like the minute someone tells you, oh, I'm going to be so much better than I was, just take me back. Just take me back. I'm going to change things. But have you done the work? Have you done the work? Have you dealt with what needs to be dealt with? Where's the proof, right? Where's the proof in that? And so communicating that to ourselves and saying, okay, I might have come this far in the circle. So we speak about 360, and all my work always talks about the 360. So in this 360, and not only my work, other people talk about a 360 in their way too. But in my 360 is, we get in this pendulum, and we just start to say, let's just say we lose 20 pounds. I'm so good. I just, but we have like, say your goal is to lose 60. And that's your healthy place is 60. Now, somebody else might say you need to lose 80 or 90, but your whole body is saying 60 would be okay for me. 60 would bring me to a place that I can maintain and manage that. But you're down 20. So I'm down a jean size. I look good. And so I can start letting things start to creep in. I can start crowing to people about how good I am, about how great I am. I can start pushing this agenda of, if you just do this, you'll lose the weight too. And then I get 30 pounds. And so then I'm say 3/4 the way I'm, I'm getting there into the last, I'm getting 30, 35 pounds. So I'm 3/4 the way. But okay, so now I can cheat. Now I can dabble back into my old life, my old lifestyle. But isn't the old lifestyle the thing that took you away from your truth? Right? Is that the things that, so how can we let the old back in? Right? There is no space for the old habits that we're breaking to come back in and expect us to be able to maintain the new habit. And so this continues from the end of July. And so over here, then we get, yeah, I can have that. I can give myself that little treat. But then we get to the last quarter mile, and we're down, say, the last 10 pounds. You're like, well, how come I can't lose these last 10 pounds? And how come I'm fluctuating, or how come I'm going up instead of down? It's because that between the last 3/4 and the last quarter is the hardest to take in order to get to a new beginning. And so if we stop trying to be in the wheel of predictability of continual, we can kind of really predict how people will go in habits, right? It's like, if we continue to do the things that we've always done, we will have the same outcome. What can I change? And how can I change? And if I change it down here at 20, and then I won't have the same outcome at the 3/4 mark. I will not have the same outcome at the last quarter. until I get to that 360. I will get not just to the 360, I'll get back to a new zero. I'll be able to get to a new goal. I'll have something new to work towards. But there's always that pendulum energy that is shifting us around, and we're really seeing it come out in August. We're seeing it big time in August. And so we have the 8-8 happening, which brings intentions, luck. It is such an abundant, it's such a good time for, it's a positive energy. It gives us up, it gives us like a big boost. And so there's a boosting energy in this. And we've already been in this, or we will be in this, I think, from like July the 28th until into August, until like the middle of August, that energy is like pulsating, and it's pulsating at us in a positive way, and say, if we want to be it's us that has to be the positive influence upon ourselves in our own lives. We have to be the positive influence upon the generations to come. And if we want to be the positive influence, is that we have to be the real, authentic version, and not just keep sugarcoating and adding a new layer of veils of illusions, not another veil, another half-assed truth. We need to get to deep truth. And what is my deep truth? What is my deep knowing? That how many more temporary satisfactions can I exist in, and how many old habits can I keep bringing back in before I can admit to myself that I have failed myself, that I have disappointed myself, and that I can be that, or I can be my own asshole. I can be not kind to myself. I can be this, and that I have this toxic trait, or I have this toxic energy, that it does exist in me. And I really want to move beyond this, because we then move into that Virgo energy. So as we move into that Virgo energy, we move into, and then we move into the September, right? And as we get closer to the September, by the 20th of August, people are already ahead of themselves. People start getting ahead of themselves. Well, fall is coming. So I'm going to start wearing my fall clothes, because it's August, but summer doesn't end until September. And so I get ahead of myself, and I get so excited. So we get so excited for something that we jump into something else before we finish something else. So this August is really testing us and challenging us, saying, can we stay with something until we can ride it all the way out? Can we let ourselves fully complete something? And so it's a good time to complete old projects. It's a good time to get things done. Stay with something until it is complete. No matter how boring it is, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging it is, because it's calling us up and out on our own bullshit. It's like, well, I'm already done with summer. I want to move into September. I want to get here into fall, but it's not here. It's not here. We have this. And it really technically doesn't change till here. But because we're sold the Kool-Aid to start to buy into something, the next best thing, right? The next thing. So it is the time of where the next thing is coming. So it could be, oh, here's the next best program. Here's the next best in-style thing. And I know this myself in the work that I do. And I just, and I, in 2024, I mean, I've had my own big disappointments, my own sadness. I've had to travel through some real hurts. And part of that was through being a part of a program where, I was sharing my teachings, and for some reason, my Wi-Fi stopped being so good that all my videos started to get staticky again. And I have not been able to get the whole problem fixed. So, but in the meantime, I was dropped without being told I was dropped. I was taken out without being told I was being taken out of the programming. And so I was asking questions, and it's like, oh, well, this, it's kind of like outdated. I'm like, I don't know how love and light ever gets outdated. And the angels have never gotten outdated. And it's because there's fads, and because there's what could possibly be ahead. It's excitement, it's thrilling. And so it's all this thrill. Go for the thrill, go for the excitement. But the foundation of who we are, it's not exciting building the foundation. It's not exciting building the foundation of your home, but the foundation is the key. And without the foundation, it's like meeting your, it's like being told you can max your potential without doing the healing work. So the shadow is running the show. So you can have a big spiritual ass shadow, you can have a big egoic shadow, right? There's like all of this aspects of this shadow that's out there. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But have you done this? And have you done that? And so there was a lot of hurt. And I feel that hurt. So I feel that pain of feeling like we need to jump on the next bandwagon to get there, to get ahead of ourselves, to be ahead. But there's such a powerful, there's such a powerful journey in bringing ourselves back down and being grounded and rooting in knowing the what works. And if we were to look at magic, if we were to look at our connection to the divine, to angelic realm, to celestial, it's older than the beginning of time. And so there's a lot of imitation light that's appearing to be that of the beings that's there for us. And don't get me wrong, I really connect to the beings as well. I work with the Pleiadians, and this is Pleiadian energy that is also communicating this for me, along with the divine. I'm speaking to two channels at once. And so we have this, you know, so we have these beings and we have this being energy that doesn't work on our behalf. Your ego's desire is to get you back to comfort. It's not to get you forward, it's to get you back to comfort. It's to get you back to what's comfortable. It's not about getting you out of the comfort zone. It's about getting you back to the comfort, the unhealthy ego. The healthy ego is about what motivates you to do what you need to do to get shit done. That's our parenting thought. This immaturity is not this way. But a lot of this being energy is not there for us. It is there for them. It is there so that it creates, it's like politics. Politicians are not there for you. They're there for themselves. And people will become so supportive of that versus their people. It's because we get lost in what we think that can do for us. But what can we do for ourselves? And so there is this narrative, right? There that is following through. And feeling that in my own life was like, oh, well, you know, I'm just obsolete. But I'm going to show you a book that has not yet ever become obsolete. And that is Louise Hay. Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Sorry, it's still there. It's still going. Louise Hay's work is still there. And she's in spirit. And I know she's in spirit because I see her. And so that beautiful journey, and I tell you why it's on my desk, because for a long time, a friend of mine told me to put this cover, create a cover and put it on a book. And until I actually could see my dream come true so that I wouldn't give up on my dream. There it is. This was on the top of Louise Hay. So thank you, my dear friend, Allison Lund, who I don't really get to speak too much anymore. Life takes us in different directions, but this was the original Wine and Chips cover that I put on Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And this is Wine and Chips. Now, it doesn't look like anything that my other little sticker says yet. All of my little, 4 million copies sold in 8 weeks. Well, that didn't happen, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. It was that I didn't get caught in other things and lose track of what was important. That I would have to take the long way around, do the things that need to be done, and not to quit on myself. Not to let myself get caught up in the next best things, not to run from the things that were the doors that were closing, that I would, that I would have to create something more thrilling and more exciting. No, I just had to remember who I was. And I just had to get back into myself and lock into me, and the me that got me to where I was in my own sense of stability in myself, and knowing my happy place, and knowing what brings me joy, and remembering that, and being that truth, and not trying to be something else. And so everything of this month is telling us this, to really truly recognize the things that take us away from ourselves, that move us into places that make us something we're not. And so in Wine and Chips, we write about the grape named Rose, and how, a grape, I don't want to eat a grape, but, but I'll drink the wine, and those illusions of truth, right? I don't like grape, but I like wine. And go back and listen to July's, the end of July's, please do. And it will just all make sense if you haven't listened to it. And so it was like, I don't like to do this, but I like to do that. It's like, but if I do this, if I stay true to this, if I stay true to getting to my healthiest of self, then what is my truth is that joy is the closest to source, but it will not be just little sparks or little temporary satisfactions. I'll be happy with knowing that I completed something. And I just remember all the way back to writing to, me having a real sad, disappointed moment. And, I wrote all these books and, I thought this is what it was going to look like, or I thought it was going to be like this. And it's not. And then I just heard God just say to me, I asked you to write the books. I didn't ask you to sell them. I didn't ask you to market them. I asked you to sit down and write those books. And I got it. I understood in that moment what it meant. I asked you to be dedicated to you. I asked you to be dedicated to something and to not to back away and not to quit on you, even though nothing was going the way that you think it should. To not to let it just because it's not the way that you think it should look like. It's exactly as what was needed. And who was that? Where would that come from? That's our own light. Don't quit on ourselves. And it just says the internet connection is unstable. There's so much unstable energy right now. And so there's a lot of instability, right? And it's so easy to get lost. It's so easy to, someone says, well, you got to do something that's more like this. You got to be more like that. So you run from the things that are in align, what feels right to you, that is your body's telling you, or that your higher self is speaking to you, and you listen to that shadow self. And so this is going to be playing out all through August, everywhere. It's so easy to get ahead of ourselves, so easy to get lost. It's so easy to get captivated by something. But our deepest truth is being honest with ourselves. What do I need to complete? What do I need to do? What do I need to finish up? But also recognizing that we may be coming full circle in a journey that we're so close to being finished something that we don't know what's on the other side, but we just know something is there. And it's not that somebody else has given us a promise of what it would be like. Is that we know inside of ourselves that there's something for me and I don't know what it looks like, but I just know my sacred. I know what I need to be able to feel more of in my future, and to be able to find that sense of contentment within myself, to know that I'm enough to make that happen. I don't have to fluff it up. I don't have to do any of that, but I have to be me. And if you're not you, you're not you in your relationships, if you're not you in your relationship with yourself, you will always be something else or somebody else. And there will always be this little pain story that will be playing out. And so that is a big part of what's happening in August. Now, we also have a big shift that's kind of coming in that is just saying, like it's a bit of a go time again. There's going to be some go time, but don't rush. Don't feel the need to rush. It is a go time. But if you start to rush, there'll be so many people rushing through that gate, you'll get trampled and lost. It's like, just like, let everyone rush in and then walk in. Let everyone rush in and then walk in. Why do I need to rush? If there's only one place to go, if there's only one outcome, if there's only one ending, why do I need to rush to get there? Because we've been sold the illusion. Fear, right? Fear that there's not going to be enough. And so it's the awakening of there's more than enough. There's more than enough for me. There's more than enough for you. There's more than enough for all of us, that we don't have to keep selling the pieces of ourselves that matter the most. So there's a bit of a slower pause or energy for that, so that we don't jump in, we don't rush. And now many will run, many will jump, many will, but we can't see what's ahead. So we can't see the dead end. We can't see the construction. We can't see the danger signs if we're so busy in the crowd and we're so busy trying to get somewhere. Whereas if we can see those signs, and those signs are there, then we can find an alternate route. We can find our way around. We can do something different. We don't cross over. We don't fall over the edge. We don't fall into the sinkhole. We don't fall into the problems. We don't fall into that space, into that old thing. If we see what's ahead of us, if we can see the danger sign. We don't know exactly what's happening up there, but we have these warnings. So there's a lot of signs that are coming. There's a lot of synchronicity that's also playing out. Excuse me. Excuse me. I didn't get time to hit pause. Sorry about that. See, we don't know what's ahead. We don't know what's coming. Just like that. Just like that. And then the screen goes blurry because I just threw off the focus. But here we are in this time, in this energy. And so August then also brings us into the full moon and moving through the full moon energy. And the full moon energy that we're going to be existing in and feeling is going to feel a little like the panic button. Feeling that little bit of like, hitting the panic button. But it's like, so it could be where some emergencies may appear, like it may be where, somebody may need to get to the emergency room. It may be where there is having to, push the emergency button and call on extra help. You may need to be calling in your guides. You may need to be calling in your angels. You need to be calling in, whoever it is you call up on, you're calling in your higher self, because it's things that may be bigger than us and too big for us, that we don't get, that it's like, I can't do this on my own, right? It's like some things are too big for us and we need help. And so you may be feeling this. You may be, you may have loved ones having to be taken to the emergency room. They may have to have, you may be, it's like all of a sudden somebody has to have a life-saving surgery. And it's like, that feels so scary because it's a life-saving surgery. But if it saves their lives, it's a blessing. But it's hard to see the blessing when we're in the fear, right? It's hard to see the blessing when we're panicking. But if that heart surgery, if that heart surgery has to happen, and it saves somebody's lives, then we have the blessing. And so those messengers and those miracle workers appear all over the place, and they appear through everyday humans. And so sometimes when we have to call in the bigger help, it actually comes through everyday people who step in as the messengers, as the healers, as the guides, to be able to be that in our lives. And so we're seeing the rise of the healer again, and really seeing that sense of being able to step back into healing. And I've been really feeling that in my own self. Okay, I'm ready to step back in. I'm feeling ready that I went on a journey of healing the unhealed healer. And that was my call, 2018, 2019, 2020. I kept talking about, this is my journey. I've seen so much of the unhealed in people who are, that work in the industry, including myself, that we take all this training that we do it for ourselves, to help ourselves, but yet as soon as we get it because we want to help everyone else, we run out and we give it away, and we end up never completing what we're here to complete within ourselves. So I stepped back, and I really took that journey to do the work that needed to be done this year for myself. It was a big back surgery that was a part of the healing, and not rushing back out, and trusting that when they want me back, I'll go back, or when it's needed, or whatever version or whatever that looks like. And so knowing that, and so in the meantime, only as I was called upon would I do, trickles of work, working with people as it was needed, but not on a big scale, not a rush, not a panic, nothing like that. And so moving forward is that sense of the healed healers, and really truly that sense of knowing that we've, doing our work, done our work, and being called upon. So you may be feeling the call to, and it doesn't always have to be healing work. You may be feeling the call to go back to something that you haven't done in years. And that's not a go backwards. That's a different version of you stepping in. So a different version of you may be ready to step back in to either the workforce, or back into a position, or back into a place where it could be back into a marriage that was falling apart. Who knows? Whatever that may be. It might be back into exercise, whatever that may be, that you couldn't do for a while because there are some health issues that need to be fixed. But find yourself stepping back in, and that you can go back in, but it's, it's like, oh, well, this in the past, but you're not the past version of yourself. If you've been doing the work, it's a new version of you. And so you are more equipped and ready to be able to step up to answer those calls. And that is going to start really revealing itself. What I'm getting is around that. I see the big moon in the sky, so it's around the full moon, and it's like, oh, I feel that call. So it may be right when new job postings come up. It may be when something like when and, just events start to happen again, or things start to happen again, and you're ready for it, and you're ready for that life. And so you may be feeling that. You may be ready for a new relationship. So it could be when a new relationship, and you're like, I haven't been into a relationship in years, but a new relationship. You may be ready for a new relationship. But don't look at who you were in the past or the people that were in your past. It is you and a new person stepping into that relationship. And you and that new person are going to begin a new beginning from now. So we start from ground zero. We begin from there. And we begin as if we're fresh and we're new to this. We don't know how to behave. We don't know what to do in this relationship, but we're going to give it a go. But as these new versions of ourselves, we've gained wisdom. We have allowed things to be transcended back. And so it comes back as wisdom, new ways to behave, new habits. But it's when we let old habits seep back in, when we allow ourselves to become become like blending into and not keeping your own sense of self, your own identity. Because the key is, no matter if it's work, if it's relationship, if it's something for yourself, it is self, it is yourself and this self, right? And being able to keep a separation, but a togetherness, that we can be this, it can be this and that, and then there's the divine, because we operate this way. We have this center pole of this center self, and then we have our masculine and we have our feminine. We have two sides of us. But when we make our choices and decisions, is that we make them together, but we consult with either side and we live from here. And so this is about our alignment, our balance and center self, because the world is going to be it's going to be crowded, and it's going to be kind of knocking us all over the place. It's going to be so easy to fall off and out. And it's going to be so easy to fall out of, it's going to be so easy to get into an argument. It's going to be so easy to fall out of alignment to yourself. It's going to be so easy to get caught up in all of this energy. So doing the things that are need to be done to get your feet on the ground, to be grounded, to be balanced within yourself is so important in August. And so that's what I have for August. I have so much to share. I don't even know where to begin, but there'll be more videos that will be coming out for, I guess, for the new moon, probably for the full moon. I'll be back by the time the full moon. So when you're listening to this, I leave and I will be on holidays myself in August. And it's the first time since 2018 that I've actually been on a full holiday. I've made little tiny trips, but not a full holiday. So I'm actually going on a full holiday, and I will be in Grand Falls, Windsor at my first ever event in Newfoundland, hosting a group, connecting to spirit mediumship event that is happening. So that's happening on August the 12th. So if you're in Newfoundland and you would love to come see me and come be a part of this and sit in the beautiful energy of sitting in spirit, you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. Tickets are on Eventbrite. You can go to my website, links in the comment below, get the link and be able to purchase your ticket. And I don't purchase from Eventbrite. So is there another way? Yes, there is a way, but you have to personally reach out to me in order for that to happen, so that I can send you the link, so that we can set it up properly, because I do not message anyone. I will not message you for offering you a reading. I will not message you asking you for money. I will not message you. I will not voice message you. I will not text you. I will not do any of those things. If you get those, that's not me. And so I only have my sites, my pages. And so no. So you would have to reach out to me. But I'll be in Newfoundland. You can also join the Lionsgate on August the 4th. That will be an ascension and a healing circle. That's happening. Everything is on my website. Go check it out. An amazing website designed by my dear friend, Lisa Richard of Loving Energy Recharge. I really want to give a shout out to Lisa for all that she does do. And I so appreciate her, because I only get to look good because of her. She's the editor of the books. She creates the website. She does all of that work to help me, because I am like that little scattered. I'm not so in the box. I'm not so able to keep everything all together so well. So, take time to really show appreciation and gratitude for the important people in your life during these times, because you know what? Sometimes we get too busy, we forget. So don't forget about the important people in your life. Don't forget about, that we don't rise alone. We don't live on an island. and it's not, and we don't do everything alone. It takes a lot of support, including the divine support that you have out there to get us to where we are in this life. So shout out. I send you much love. Shout out to my divine, to my council, to the angels, to the guides, to my own guardians. Shout out to spirit that works through us and for us. Send you much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful August. Bye bye.